I'm sure you've heard people talk about how challenging their home buying process was. 9 times out of 10, the one thing that made the process seem so challenging and stressful was the simple fact that most realtors don't keep their clients informed of where they are in the home buying process, or let them know what's coming next. Whether you're a first-time home buyer or if you purchased over 100 properties, the real estate buying process is very similar almost every time. Today, I'm going to cover the entire real estate buying process and break it down into 5 easy steps. And I'm going to do it right now on your Monday Morning Markus Minute. Hi, my name is Marcus Williams. I'm a Missouri and Kansas licensed realtor, gladly serving the entire Kansas City metropolitan area. If you live outside of this area, the home buying process may look a little different. For example, in our area, we typically trust title companies with holding escrow in lieu of using real estate attorneys or brokerages. However, for the most part, the home buying process will look very similar. Let's get started. The first step is getting pre-approved. Now, if you're a cash buyer, you can completely skip this step by providing your realtor with a copy of your proof of funds letter. But if you're one of the 72% of people who need financing, you'll need to speak with a mortgage loan originator. Now, the pre-approval process may look a little like this. First, you're going to complete a mortgage loan application and provide your loan officer with documents proving your income, liabilities, and assets. The loan officer is going to pull your credit, look at your debt to income ratio, and work the numbers to find out how much money they're willing to lend. They should also go over these numbers with you so that you have a good idea of how much your monthly mortgage payment may be and how much you can expect to pay in closing costs. Now, every situation is different, which is why I always recommend talking with a local, reputable, and professional loan officer. In fact, I choose to work with some of the best loan officers in the Kansas City area because I want to be sure my clients are getting the absolute best deals possible. Once your loan officer issues you a pre-approval letter, you're ready for step 2. Now, step 2 is often considered the most fun part of the home buying process. This is when you'll meet with your realtor and start looking at different properties in person. This is a great time to dream big. Find the property that is best suited for you and your situation. Now, keep in mind that once you find the right property, you'll need to be ready to make an offer and get the ball rolling. With my personal home shopping system, most of my clients make an offer on one of the first 5 houses we see. Now, making an offer includes filling out the real estate sale contract and showing the seller exactly how much you're willing to pay for the property. It also includes the amount of earnest money you're willing to put down, the type of financing you're using if you're not paying cash, as well as any additional inclusions specific to that particular property. The seller has the opportunity to do one of 3 things. Number 1, they can accept the offer and sign the contract. Number 2, they can send a counteroffer showing terms that work better for them. Or number 3, they can just reject your offer. Now, assuming all parties agree to the terms and conditions and sign the contract documents, you'll pay your earnest money. Now, I typically recommend paying at least 1% of the purchase price, but every situation is different. Keep in mind that the amount of earnest money you pay is applied to your down payment, or in some cases may even be refunded depending on your financing terms. Also, keep in mind that if you choose to cancel this purchase and back out of the contract without reason as stated in the contract, your earnest money may be lost and given to the seller. So be sure you're familiar with the escrow terms portion of the contract. Your realtor should help you with understanding these terms. Once you have the property under contract and your earnest money is paid, you're ready for step 3. Step 3 is when you have the opportunity to find out as much as possible about the property you're planning to purchase. Now, if your negotiations included you waiving your right to home inspections, which happens occasionally, you can skip forward to step 4. Otherwise, this is a very important step that should not be ignored. There's a time frame specified in most real estate sale contracts that allows the buyer a set number of days to have a property inspected. Now, some buyers think it's a smart idea to have Uncle Joey stop by and take a look and offer his opinions. But unless Uncle Joey is a certified home inspector and will put together a full home inspection report, I'd strongly recommend steering away from this option and hiring a professional home inspector who is familiar with the real estate buying process. I personally work with some of the best home inspectors in the Kansas City area, and I'm more than happy to get you connected. Types of home inspections typically include your whole house inspection, which can be broken down to include your structural, HVAC, electrical, plumbing, roof, and other property components. Other inspections may include radon inspections, termite inspections, sewer line inspections, mold inspections, and more. Once inspections are complete and you've received your inspection reports, you typically have three options. Number one, you may accept the property in its current condition. Number two, you can cancel the contract and get your earnest money back. Or number three, you may renegotiate the terms of the contract or ask the seller to make repairs as noted in the inspection reports. Now this might be a good time to pause for a moment and invite you to like this video if you find it beneficial in any way. I'd also like to invite you to subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell so that you'll be notified when we upload new content. It helps us and it helps you, and we're grateful for your support. Now where were we? Oh yeah, on to step 4. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes for step 4. This is typically when the appraisal takes place, if it's necessary. Now, you may ask, when would an appraisal not be necessary? If you're paying cash for a property, there's no lender. Therefore, there's no need for an appraisal, unless you want to purchase one for yourself and your own knowledge. Plus, in some cases, when you finance a property and put down enough money, the lender may not even require an appraisal. Keep in mind that the appraiser is there for the lender to be sure they are not lending too much money for a particular property. Other behind the scenes processes may include the title company completing paperwork and making sure you're good to close. Now they may include your realtor finalizing paperwork and making sure all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. Your initials and signatures may be required during step 4 for any changes or corrections that may be made to the contract documents, and you may need to provide additional information to your lender as the file goes through underwriting. While all of this is going on behind the scenes, this is a great time for you to be packing because you're about to move. It's also a great time to contact your insurance company to be sure your new home is insured. Now I'm happy to make some great suggestions of reputable insurance providers for you. Step 4 is also when you'll need to contact the local utility companies and request the utilities be transferred from the seller's name into your name. Now in most cases, everything will be transferred into your name as of the close date. However, some utility companies may require additional time to make any changes, which is why it's always a good idea to contact them a couple of weeks prior to closing. That leads us to step 5, closing. Closing is everyone's favorite step. This is the time when you sign all the settlement documents, including the lender's documents and the deed to the property. Now, just because you're closing doesn't always mean you'll get the keys and take possession of the property at that time. The real estate sale contract states when you're scheduled to take possession. This date and time is usually included in the original offer. When attending your closing, you'll want to be sure everyone who will be on the deed is present and ready to sign. Now, just because one person may not be on the loan doesn't mean they can't be on the deed. This is a common misconception. Be sure to ask your realtor to be sure you know exactly what your options are. When attending closing, you'll want to be sure to bring your legal photo identification and any additional documentation that may be required. In most cases, in both Missouri and in Kansas, the title company and or your lender will let you know exactly what documents you need to bring with you. And of course, don't forget to bring your down payment if it's required. Once everything is signed and funded and you've taken possession of the property, it's time to move in. That's when the real estate home buying process is finished. So congratulations, you made it. Now that wasn't that hard, was it? Listen, if you're shopping for a home in or around the Kansas City area, my team of real estate professionals and I are here to help. Give us a call at 816-332-1116. We are your one step to a successful real estate experience. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.